You wanting to be liked is the fastest way to be manipulated. It's the fastest way to be mediocre. And you always stay forgotten. I think it's still important to be respectful, to be kind to others, right? That is not something that you should change. But the true question you should be asking yourself is, what is the fear of being disliked costing me? Is it costing you a job? Is it costing you high-value relationships and friendships? Is it ultimately costing you from being chosen? Because the fear of being disliked is actually you fearing being yourself. And the only way to be your hot, rich, sexy self is to have the courage to be disliked. Hi, my name is Jasmine, and on this channel, we talk all about becoming the woman of your dreams and building a life that you absolutely love. And don't mind the chicken noises in the background because I'm currently living on a farm in Bali. Your girl needed a vacation, so here we are. After watching this video, you will completely erase every single self-doubt you have around being seen and being your true authentic self. And I'm here to help you shift your mindset and to see that it's all an illusion, and ultimately the risk of you not being your true self is actually far greater than listening to the judgments of others. Here are all the video chapters, and you can find the video chapters in the description below. And of course, if you are somebody who is ready to do the real work, I'm not just talking about watching these videos, but actually transforming, I provide worksheets for every single one of my videos. In these worksheets, you'll find in-depth journaling prompts as well as practical exercises to help you start removing your limiting beliefs and to write on an action plan so you can start living out as your highest self today. You can access these worksheets down in the description below. Now let's dive into the video. So the first thing I want to talk about is the authenticity distribution model. No matter if you choose to be a people pleaser versus someone who is authentically herself, the amount of love and hate you receive is still, on average, the same. However, the love and hate you receive gets distributed very differently. So I want to show you what this model means, and it's going to help you understand and conceptualize what your internal nervous system is trying to protect you from versus what you're actually missing out on. So let's look at a graph of someone who is dimming her light. She's really afraid of being herself. She's afraid of going for a dream. She's playing small. As you can see in this model, there isn't really a real divide of people who passionately hate you and people who passionately love you, because they're all kind of grouped in kind of the same 5 out of 10 category. Now, of course, your family, your close friends, they love you because they know the real authentic version of you. But if you are robbing the rest of the world of your light and energy, the world has no choice but to feel nothing about you. But keep in mind, you're still experiencing love and you're experiencing hate, but these both sides are quite mild. So what is the upside to being a people pleaser, to staying small, right? The upside is you stay irrelevant. So you're actually safe from strong criticism. The other upside is that you make everyone around you content. You're not making everyone happy. You're just making people content and comfortable. But it's not actually improving your likability score at all. But there's also a downside to being mediocre. So what are the downsides? The first reason is that you're irrelevant. People don't have a strong reason to hate you, but at the same time, people don't have a strong reason to love or choose you. So you run into this problem where you rarely get chosen. So the guy that you want, the guy that you want to date, the guy that you have a crush on, this guy typically always wants someone else, right? You never get chosen. The next problem you might run into is getting the job that you want. Why is it that every time you land an interview, it doesn't seem like you ever get chosen? It's because your personality is not giving people a reason to choose you. And even if you've been posting on socials for a decade and you still haven't blown up, maybe the reason is because you're not giving people depth to relate to, and depth comes with authenticity. And the next reason is because you're the type of person who sits passively and waits for life to happen. So when you're always waiting for instructions from people telling you what the right move is, what to do next, you become so much more easily controlled. When you care so much about what other people think, people have the ability to easily pull onto your heartstrings. And they're doing this to get you to do what they want. And these people do not have your best interest at heart. So let's look at the next graph where you are becoming your bold and authentic self. You're out of pocket, you're loud, but you still get judged. But as you can see, there is a greater divide. All right, so what is the upside? The upside is that you obviously get more people that love you for you. You get chosen in relationships. People want to be around you. You get hired, you get promoted. People follow you on socials. You are this magnetic force that everyone wants to be around. What's the downside? Now, you need to ask yourself this next question, which is, what do you lose if you choose to become your authentic self? Something that I thought I had was control, which is so funny because we tend to think that we have control over people's perceptions by people pleasing or being nice all the time. But that's also a form of manipulation, right? Because you're trying to shape people's perception of you. But the truth is, you never had control from the start because people who love you will judge you and people who hate you will judge you. And that it is a very natural human trait that we have, you judge people, right? But it does not mean that you should stop yourself from living your truth just because you think everyone around you is judging you, right? Now, the best part about being your bold and authentic self is that you can shift the scales a little bit and add a little bit of magic to have this graph work in your favor. And how you can do this is to effectively use your RAS. Your RAS is your reticular activating system, and it chooses what you focus on, but it also helps you filter out the irrelevant information. What you focus on expands. So if you keep focusing on people's judgments, people's hatred towards you, if you keep focusing on the people that don't like you, the more that you're going to make content for them, or the more that you're going to live life for them, right? You are going to doubt yourself so much more because you're fixating all of your time and energy trying to please them. And just imagine if your favorite influencer or YouTuber spent half the day looking at hate comments, looking through Reddit and seeing and caring about what people thought of them. Just imagine how they would show up in their videos or how they would show up during their lectures. And the fact is, they're going to show up with more self-doubt, they're going to show up with more fear, and they're going to wash away their personality. And it's just natural as humans for us to feel affected by negative comments. But the great thing about building up your RAS to work in your favor is that you can filter out those negative people in your life. Focus on the positive impact that you're making on other people. Focus on the people that already love you. Focus on the comments that make your heart expand. The more that you focus on all these people that already love you for your authentic self, the more people that you're going to attract that are going to feel this way about you. These are simply the laws of the universe. It has nothing to do with you. It is not personal. So you need to be consciously aware of what you're fixating your attention on. The next part to this video is if you don't risk anything, you risk even more. There will always be a lot of things to be afraid about in life. It is so easy to feel uptight and to listen and give in to these voices. But the more that you give in to these fears, the more that you're going to let these fears drive your life, and it's going to give you more reasons to fear the world. Your comfort zone is like an elastic band, but this elastic band needs to constantly be stretched if you want to live a bigger life. Because if you do not risk, if you do not take those bold moves, if you do not become your authentic self, which is scary sometimes, you run into the fear of losing yourself and creating an even smaller will. There is a very, very big risk when it comes to living a small life, and that risk is dying with regret. In the book, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying, one of the most common regrets that people have is they wish they had the courage to be themselves and to live their authentic truth and live the life that they want rather than listening to what people expected from them. So what are you choosing to do with this one life, this one chance of existing? Because in order to play this game of life right, you need to ask yourself constantly, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? What do I want? Not what my mom wants, not what my teacher wants, not what my boyfriend wants. What do I want? What do I want? What do I want? You need to drill that question in you time and time again. And yes, it's selfish, yeah, but What is the alternative? The alternative is compromising. The alternative is playing small. The alternative is being someone who is so helpless and so powerless. Because if you do not ask yourself that question enough times, you are going to lose yourself and you're going to climb into a default path that you did not even choose. Being successful, happy, and fulfilled requires you to make decisions that create friction. So these are boundaries. These are holding standards. Even being visible to the world, that may create a lot of conflict within you, but it doesn't mean that it's wrong. It does not matter what people think of you and your decisions and what you end up doing with your life, because you are the one who is paying the price. They are not the ones living out the consequences. You are. No one out here is paying for your bills. No one's out here to save you. Your haters, the people who judged you, they're not going to take care of you. So choose to risk it all and bet on yourself, because that's the only bet that's going to pay you forward. Part 3 is to embody your alter ego. If no one could ever judge you or criticize you, what version of you would you become? That image and version of you that popped down your head, that is your alter ego. And what are the top 3 things that she would choose to do today if she never got judged or criticized for it? Now that is your alter ego's everyday routine. Now tell me, in 5 years, who is going to be happier, more successful, more fulfilled, more wealthy? Is it going to be you right now, or is it going to be your alter ego? The answer probably is your alter ego. Now keep in mind, your alter ego is still you, but it's the realist version of you, because it removes that obstacle, it removes that illusion that you need to care about what people think of you, because that obstacle is just hindering you from being your real self. You need to be a rebel. You can't be a good girl anymore, because that did not serve you at all. You need to use your intuition and go towards the direction that makes you feel more expanded. And that does come at a cost, right? You risk losing someone's validation. Being a good girl will never get you to a place where you become great. The next part is opinions are cheap, but outcomes are priceless. It costs absolutely nothing to have an opinion. Anyone could have an opinion. Your mom could have an opinion about your life. Your next door neighbor could have an opinion. Your high school bully, YouTube comment hate, anyone and everyone could and will have an opinion about you. When I was in high school and university, I used to be friends with this girl who was an absolute hater. She would make a burner Instagram account and she would follow everyone in high school and stalk them on a daily basis, look at their stories, look at their posts, and it's like, don't you have anything better to do? During lunchtime, she would always gossip about these people and always make fun of the way that they look. Her entire life and her entire focus was on hating other people. But she was deeply, deeply unhappy with her life. She was deeply insecure about herself and her weight, so she would always try to stay consistent on her workouts, eat better, try to glow up, but she would always fall off of her habits and she would always come out worse than before. She also struggled a lot in school and she kept failing one of her classes, so she eventually got kicked out of university. And the reason why she was such a massive hater became so apparent to me because there was no reason for her to fall in love with her own life, that she had to divert her attention away from her own life and judge other people's lives. That's how she found satisfaction. That's how she found fulfillment, which is obviously not healthy. Haters typically have a wall around their heart because they believe that the world is out to get them. But haters are the people who care the most about external validation. But whether you're a hater or not, we are all human and we're all doing the best that we can with the resources and tools that we know. We also have our own experiences and childhood traumas and experiences of being bullied and shamed. And you need to understand that it comes from somewhere and it's not personal. Hating is not personal, but hating only stems from the limitations we think we have. And these are conditions that we think we hold, which are not true. Keep in mind, no matter what kind of judgments or comments or even opinions that you get from other people, no one is a god. We are all doing this thing called life for the first time, and no one holds a book to your destiny. No one holds a book of rules telling you what's possible and impossible for you. That does not exist. But in fact, You are the god of your own reality, right? You get to write the rules. You get to write the script of your life. You need to build high self-esteem. How you see yourself affects every single area in your life. So that means that even if you are looking, you are experiencing the world through your own lens and through your own experiences and through your own self-concept, right? We're never seeing the world as it is. We're seeing the world as we are. So if you genuinely think that you're ugly, I'm sorry, but you are ugly. But if you think you are beautiful, my God, you are beautiful. Nobody can tell you that you're a 5, 4 out of 10, an adjustable 6. No one has the right to tell you or to give you value. It is up to you to define what that value is within you, and you need to do that diligent work yourself. No one has the right to tell you what your value is and what you're worth because you already have value. The work, the inner work, is to start recognizing that this part of you that already has value exists within you. Stop taking advice from every single person. Stop listening and taking every single opinion personally. Start filtering out the types of people that you want to live by and listen to what they have to say. Because talk is cheap, opinion is cheap. Anyone and everyone is qualified to have an opinion. But you need to be proactive with who you let into your sphere. Only filter out the people that you genuinely admire and the lives that they live. If you want to have that person's lifestyle, if you want to have that person's success, if you want to have that person's relationship, listen to what they have to say about success, relationships, mindset. And you can do this by listening to podcasts, listening to YouTube videos, and start investigating how they think about life, how they think about themselves, how they see the world, how they give value. Really tune in to how they think, and by listening to their voice and listening to their message day by day constantly, your brain will evolve as well. Not all feedback is created equal, so it's really important that you approach hate comments or judgment from a scientific lens. You need to see it as a scientist and you need to remove the emotions out of it. So there are people who may give you comments on YouTube, for example, that have the intention to hate or to hurt, right? That you can ignore. But sometimes people may provide real feedback that can help you improve on your videos. The very last part is to stop making it about yourself. I know that there are a lot of content creators talking about how important it is to be self-obsessed, right? It's this next big thing in the self-development community. But there is a danger when you solely focus on what life can do for you, especially when you are unhappy and unfulfilled in this stage of life. Because when you are self-obsessed, especially when you're in a place where you feel like you're lacking, you're only obsessed with the lack. The reason why you are so afraid of being disliked is because you are focusing all of your attention and energy on yourself. As humans, it is in our nature to want to be of service to other humans. It's actually very important for us to give and be generous in order for us to be happy and filled and connected. Whatever you think the world is withholding from you, you are withholding from the world. So if you think the world is fake and pretentious, in what ways are you withholding your authenticity and depth? If you think the world is evil and greedy, in what ways are you withholding your kindness and generosity? Figure out what you're withholding from the world and start giving that out generously. Now, we've reached the end of this video. I would love to know in the comments down below what is one thing you would do if no one could ever judge you or criticize you. If you want to implement everything that I've taught in this video and dive deeper into dismantling this belief, check out my worksheets down below. And if you are currently on the journey of becoming the woman of your dreams and building a life that you love, check out my channel because I make a ton of videos about self-worth, relationships, money, literally all things high-value women energy. And if you love this video, I highly recommend that you check out this video over here. This video also talks about how to get beyond other people's expectations of you and how to live out your truth. I love and appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in all the way to the end, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!